Am I audible, everyone? If I am audible, please type yes. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. So let's start with today's current affairs class. The first topic that we are going to start discussing is the star campaigner. All right. So the name of the topic is star campaigner. ठीक है, तो ये आपके पॉलिटी और गवर्नेंस का पोर्शन है. स्टार कैंपेनर इज रिलेटेड टू रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल्स एक्ट, ROPA. Thank you, Akhila. I am doing great. I hope you all are perfectly fine. All right. So you're working hard. Chaliye, good. Okay. So we are going to start with the topic that is star campaigner. So इस week हिंदू में एक article आया था, and that article was that Supreme Court stays Election Commission order revoking the star campaign status of कमलनाथ. कमलनाथ, अभी आपको पता है कि मध्य प्रदेश असेंबली के बाइपोल्स हुए थे, और उन बाइपोल्स के अंदर कमलनाथ वाज अ स्टार कैंपेनर फ्रॉम द कांग्रेस साइड. Kamalnath passed a very demeaning remark according to the BJP. Kamalnath passed demeaning remark upon the BJP leader Imarti Devi, and he called her an item. All right. So on this objection, the BJP filed a petition before the Election Commission of India, और उन्होंने इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया को बोला दैट यू शुड गो फॉर revoking the star campaigner status of Kamalnath. All right, so this is the news. So the Congress filed a petition before the judiciary that Election Commission of India does not have any power to revoke the star campaigner status of any politician of any political party. All right. Priyas, you are attending for the first time. This PDF will be available on the YouTube in the description. To those people who are not our students, those people who are our students and attending the class on Zoom, you will get this PDF on the WhatsApp groups you are member of. Don't worry about it. You will get this PDF as it is. You don't, अगर आप साथ साथ में कुछ लिखना चाहो, स्क्रिबल करना चाहो तो करो, नहीं तो mostly you should spend your time understanding the concept. ठीक है? So Congress went for filing before judiciary a petition ki jo Election Commission of India, it is not entitled to disqualify a particular star campaigner of a political party, because it is not a prerogative of the Election Commission of India to decide who is going to be the star campaigner. So star campaigner is a prominent political debate that was there in the news this week. So let's start with it. एक्चुअली क्या होता है कि हमारे जो डेमोक्रेसी है उसके अंदर जब इलेक्शंस होते हैं तो हर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी अपने कैंडिडेट को नॉमिनेट करने के बाद उसके लिए कैंपेनिंग स्टार्ट करती है. जब वो पॉलिटिकल पार्टी उस कैंडिडेट के लिए कैंपेनिंग स्टार्ट करती है तो कुछ प्रोमिनेंट फेसेस को स्टार कैंपेनर का दर्जा दिया जाता है, और ये प्रोविजन, स्टार कैंपेनर का दर्जा देने का जो प्रोविजन है, और ये जो स्टार कैंपेनर देने का जो प्रोविजन है, इट इज एक्सक्लूसिवली अ प्रेरोगेटिव ऑफ द पॉलिटिकल पार्टी. In India, there are two types of political parties. One are the registered political parties, other are non-registered political parties. Non-registered political parties cannot contest elections, so we will focus our attention only upon the registered political parties. In the registered political parties, there are two types of political parties. One are called recognized political party and second are called unrecognized political party. दोनों चीजें मैं आपको अच्छे से explain करूंगा. Please be patient. All right. So in India, a political party, when it is formed, it is to be registered with the Election Commission of India that it is a political party. Once it is registered with the Election Commission of India that it is a political party, if it is a recognized political party, so the Representation of People's Act allow a registered political party to have 40 campaigners to be designated as star campaigners. If there's a political party which is registered but which is not recognized, which is unrecognized political party, it is allowed to have 20 campaigners as star campaigners. This is the first important information which is important from your examination point of view. all right, that a political party which is registered but not recognized, it can have at maximum 20 campaigners as star campaigners, and a recognized political party has a provision of choosing 40 campaigners to be star campaigners. Chaliye, let's go a bit ahead. So now let's have a look at what is a registered political party and what is a recognized political party. दोनों के बीच का थोड़ा सा अंतर हम देख लेते हैं, so that it brings another conceptual clarity to you. And this topic, that is unrecognized and recognized political party, state party, national party, it is a very important part of your general studies prelims paper. Many times questions have been asked that what are the criteria necessary for a political party to be a state party, what are the criteria necessary for a political party to be national party. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So in India, the political party, to contest an election, it must be registered with the Election Commission of India. So इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया, यू नो कि जो इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया है, अंडर द आर्टिकल 324 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया, इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया हैज बीन गिवन द पावर to conduct free and fair elections in the country. With respect to the power conferred upon the Election Commission of India by the Article 324 of the Constitution of India, all right, Article 324 of the Constitution of India, Election Commission of India has remarked that within the 30 days of formation of a political party, the political party must put up an application for registration of that political party with the Election Commission of India. Registration of the registration of the political party with the Election Commission of India is regulated by Section 29A of the Representation of Peoples Act 1951. This is an important section of ROPA. अगर आपने आपका पेपर 2 का सिलेबस उठा के देखा है, जनरल स्टडीज पेपर 2 का, उसके अंदर एक्सक्लूसिवली टॉपिक दे रखा है रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल्स एक्ट. सो इट बिकम्स एन इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल of your Representation of Peoples Act. So it is the Section 29A of the Representation of Peoples Act 1951 that provides for registration of a political party with Election Commission of India. And Election Commission of India provides this provision under Article 324 of the Constitution. Please understand the nitty-gritty is very important from the examination point of view. Now, after a political party is registered, if it gets recognition of a state party or if it gets a recognition of a national party, this registered political party will be called a recognized political party. After the political party is registered with the Election Commission of India, it goes for contesting the elections. If it fulfills certain conditions, it will be either classified as state party or it will be classified as national party. And if that party does not fulfill certain conditions or those conditions which are mandatory for classifying a political party to be state or national party, that party is unrecognized but registered political party. So whenever the Election Commission of India gives the recognition tag of a state party or national party for a political party, वो political party recognized political party बन जाती है. अगला जो डायमेंशन हमें कवर करना है वो ये है कि एक पार्टी स्टेट पार्टी कब कहलाएगी और एक पार्टी नेशनल पार्टी कब कहलाएगी. सो लेट्स हैव अ लुक एट इट. इफ वी लुक इनटू स्टेट पार्टी के लिए देयर आर सर्टेन कंडीशंस दैट मस्ट बी फुलफिल्ड बाय अ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी. फॉर अ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी टू बी कॉल्ड अ state political party, number 1, it must secure at least 6% of the valid votes in the state at a general election, either for the Lok Sabha, that is the House of the People, or the State Legislative Assembly. Try to understand this way. अगर आपके स्टेट में वोट्स पड़ रहे हैं, जनरल इलेक्शन हो रहा है, चाहे वो लोकसभा का हो चाहे स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली का हो, अगर एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी कम से कम 6% वोट्स अक्वायर करती है, कम से कम, it can be more than that, at least 6% of the votes must be polled in favor of the political party which is claiming the state party status in a particular state. ये 6% वोट शेयर मिलने के बाद, in addition, it should win at least 2 seats in the legislative assembly of the state concerned. 6% वोट या उससे ज्यादा वोट, उसके साथ उस स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली में उसे कम से कम 2 सीटें जीतनी है। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, it should win at least 3% of the total number of seats in the legislative assembly of the state, or at least 3 seats in the assembly, whichever is more. All right, so what are the conditions? सबसे पहली कंडीशन है कि सपोज करो कि लेट्स से हमने एक करंट अफेयर्स पार्टी बना दी, लेट्स से CAP, दिस इज अ करंट अफेयर्स पार्टी, वी हैव रजिस्टर्ड आवर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी विद द इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया. Raj Ratan, we are discussing these topics only. All right, let's have a look at it. So we have created a current affairs political party and we have registered it with the Election Commission of India. Now suppose we are claiming for a state political party status in the state of Punjab. All right, let's have an example कि हम पंजाब में state political party का दर्जा हासिल करना चाहते हैं. पंजाब की असेंबली में 100 सीट्स है और पंजाब की असेंबली में 1000 वोट्स पड़ते हैं. All right, in Punjab assembly there are 100 seats and there are 1000 votes. So for our political party, that is the current affairs party, to be a state political party, out of those 1000 votes we must have at least 60 votes in our favor. कम से कम 60 लोगों ने हमारी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को वोट दिए होने चाहिए. उसके साथ साथ इस 100 सीट की असेंबली में हमें कम से कम दो लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली सीट्स भी जीतनी है. अगर ये नहीं है तो फिर हमें कम से कम 3% ऑफ द टोटल नंबर ऑफ सीट्स जीतनी है, या फिर एटलीस्ट 3 सीट शुड बी देयर व्हिचएवर इज मोर. अगर हमारी लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली में 100 सीटें हैं तो 3% इज 3, सो 3 and 3 सेम. लेकिन अगर हमारी लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली में 200 सीटें हैं तो 200 सीटों का 3% कितना हुआ? 6 सीटें. 6 सीटें इज मोर देन 3 सीट्स. तो हमें कम से कम 6 सीटें जीतनी है हमारी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को स्टेट पॉलिटिकल पार्टी डिक्लेयर करने के लिए. नो शशांक, दे आर नॉट कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी. रीड इट दिस वे, first to combine and third alone. First to combine and third alone. This is in addition to the first one. This is standalone criteria. Is it clear? Okay. Sir, should we note down the points you are explaining or just from the PDF? Diksha, if you want to scribble something, go ahead. ये PDF तो आपको मिलेगी. There is no doubt about it. ठीक है? Let's go ahead now. So, is this point clear? How you are going to become a state political party? The state political party के लिए क्या तो आपको कम से कम 6% वोट्स और 2 सीटें लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली में लानी है, या फिर आपकी टोटल जो सीटें हैं उसमें कम से कम 3% सीटें आपने जीती हैं. अगर आप इन क्राइटेरिया में से अगर आप इसको क्वालिफाई कर जाते हो तो जो आपकी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है वो पॉलिटिकल पार्टी बन जाएगी स्टेट पॉलिटिकल पार्टी. जैस्मिन, लास्ट पॉइंट इज सिंपल. अगर आपके स्टेट के अंदर आपकी लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली में 300 सीटें हैं तो 300 सीटों का 3% कितना हुआ? 9 सीट्स, राइट? और इसमें क्या लिखा है कि you should win at least 3% of the total number of seats in the legislative assembly of the state, or at least 3 seats in the assembly, whichever is more. So 3%, that is 9 seats, is more than 3 seats. Therefore, you will have to win at least 9 seats in your legislative assembly of your state to make your political party a state political party. First 2 points को conjunction में पढ़ो, third point को separate पढ़ो. All right, 1 and 2. Yes, correct, Manvi. You can say that. ठीक है? Anyone or all three? 1, 2 or 3 alone? 1, 2 और 3 alone. क्योंकि ये 3 alone के लिए first condition automatically meet हो जाती है. All right? चलिए, let's go ahead now. Either 1, 2 or 3 alone. That's it. Great. ठीक है, good. That's right, Neelam. Perfectly clear. चलिए. Now, to be eligible for national political party status, what are the criteria? So इसमें भी इन दोनों को आप conjunction में देखेंगे और तीसरा आप separate देखेंगे. पहला for a national political party status. अब हमारी जो current affairs party है, it is aiming for national political party status. Let's have a look at कि हमें national political party status के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा. Now, to be a national political party, the current affairs party has to secure at least 6% of the valid votes polled in any 4 or more states. ऊपर 6% इन द स्टेट था, यहां पे 6% इन 4 और मोर स्टेट्स इन लोकसभा इलेक्शन और द स्टेट इलेक्शन. Along with this, you should win at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha from any or any state. Either you are getting 6% or more votes in 4 or more states. Along with this, you are winning at least 4 seats in Lok Sabha from 4 different states, from one state or different states, from one state or any number of states. You are getting at least 4 seats in Lok Sabha. But you should, along with this, you should also get 6% or more than 6% votes in 4 or more states. अगर ये कंडीशन नहीं है तो थर्ड देखते हैं. Our current affairs party win at least 2% seats in the House of People. अभी हमारी जो लोकसभा की स्ट्रेंथ है विच इज 543, इसका 2% क्या होता है? इसका 2% होता है 11. We should win at least 11 seats in the Lok Sabha election from 3 different states at least. This condition is going to help us achieve the status of national political party. There is no shortcut to remember it. You will have to cram it. There's no way out. All right. So it is very important point to remember. So अगर हमारी करंट अफेयर्स पार्टी को स्टेट पॉलिटिकल पार्टी या नेशनल पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का दर्जा मिल गया, सो हमारी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी बन जाएगी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड पॉलिटिकल पार्टी. और अगर हमें ये दर्जा नहीं मिलता है तो फिर we will be just registered political party but not recognized political party. Recognized political party has certain advantages over just merely registered political party. What are these advantages? We are going to have a look at it. Yes, Muskan, that's fairly acceptable. Let me share it with everyone. If a political party, thank you for addition. If a political party, let me add it here, plus a political party that becomes a state political party in at least 4 states, it will automatically become a national political party. So Muskan, if you look at the first 2 criteria, अगर आपने first 2 criteria fulfill कर दिया, you will automatically become a state political party in the 4 states. That means you automatically become a national party. यहाँ पे यूपीएससी आपको कंफ्यूज करेगी. Instead of asking you these 3 things, पहले 2, अगर मैं पहले 2 को कंबाइन करता हूं तो don't you think we are getting the status as a state political party? So any political party that gets the status of the state political party in the 4 states, that becomes a national political party automatically. Diksha, towards the end of the class, ask me this question. I'll let you know. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead now. What are the benefits of a political party which is recognized as a state political party or a national political party? सबसे पहली चीज, a political party which is recognized as a state party, it is entitled for exclusive allotment of the election symbol for the political party in the election. अगर मेरी political party state political party बन गई तो हमें एक exclusive election symbol मिल जाएगा इलेक्शन फाइट करने के लिए उस स्टेट के अंदर, एंड नोबडी एल्स कैन क्लेम दैट सिंबल. इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया हैज अ list of symbols. If we are a new political party, we will choose a symbol from the list of symbols. But if we become a state political party, that symbol will be permanently allotted to us in that particular state. So exclusive election symbol, because many times we know that in India people recognize the candidate not by the name because of the illiteracy problem, but they look at the symbol कि वहां पे हाथी है, साइकिल है, झाड़ू है, कमल है, पंजा है, whatever that is. All right, so symbol is very much linked with the political party. So a recognized political party gets an exclusive symbol. If it is a state political party, the exclusive symbol is in the state itself. And if it is a national political party, the symbol will be allotted and reserved throughout India. तो पहला बेनिफिट है एक्सक्लूसिव सिंबल का. सेकंड जो बेनिफिट है वो ये है कि जो स्टेट और नेशनल पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हैं उनको इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया 2 फ्री इलेक्टोरल रोल्स देता है फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. द इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया प्रोवाइड 2 फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट इलेक्टोरल रोल्स टू the political parties which are recognized political party whenever the electoral rolls are revised. And during the election, the candidate from the recognized political party, they get a copy of the electoral roll free of cost. This is the second benefit of a recognized political party. संदीप, अगर कोई स्टेट पॉलिटिकल पार्टी नेशनल पॉलिटिकल पार्टी बन जाती है तो उसका सिंबल थ्रू आउट इंडिया रिजर्व हो जाता है. ऑलराइट, सपोज करो हमारी करंट अफेयर्स पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का सिंबल क्या है. लेट्स से कि हमारा सिंबल है एक किताब, खुली किताब. ठीक है, दिस इज आवर पॉलिटिकल सिंबल. अगर हम सिर्फ रजिस्टर्ड पॉलिटिकल पार्टी हैं तो इस इलेक्शन के में हमें ये सिंबल मिल गया, हो सकता है अगली बार ये सिंबल कोई और ले ले. ऑलराइट, लेकिन अगर हम स्टेट पार्टी हैं तो ये खुली किताब सिर्फ पंजाब का सिंबल बन जाएगा कि पंजाब में एक खुली किताब की पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है जिसका नाम है करंट अफेयर्स पार्टी. लेकिन अगर हम नेशनल पॉलिटिकल पार्टी बन गए तो ये खुली किताब हमारा नेशनल सिंबल बन जाएगी एंड इट विल बिकम रजिस्टर्ड. प्रेफरेंस इज गिवन to the national political party over a state political party. Okay, so can recognition? Yes योगिता, अगर कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी एक इलेक्शन में स्टेट पार्टी बनी और अगले में वो कंडीशन नहीं फुलफिल कर पाई तो वो उसका स्टेटस डाउनग्रेड हो जाता है. इट कैन बिकम नॉन रिकॉग्नाइज्ड. नेशनल पॉलिटिकल पार्टी में कन्वर्ट स्टेट पॉलिटिकल पार्टी और इट मे इवन लूज इट्स स्टेटस ऑफ बीइंग अ रिकॉग्नाइज्ड पॉलिटिकल पार्टी. ठीक है. नाउ what is an electoral roll? Electoral roll is the roll of all the eligible voters in the state or the country. If all right, अगर आपकी नेशनल, so suppose करो constituency के हिसाब से elections होते हैं. There is a constituency of the legislative assembly and there is a constituency of the Lok Sabha. So constituency में जो भी eligible voters होते हैं, registered voters होते हैं, उनका जो list होती है उसे electoral roll कहते हैं. सो रिकॉग्नाइज्ड पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को इलेक्टोरल रोल्स फ्री मिलते हैं 2 कॉपी जब भी इलेक्टोरल रोल रिवाइज होती है, और रिकॉग्नाइज्ड पार्टी के कैंडिडेट को 1 कॉपी फ्री मिलती है. ऑलराइट, 1 कॉपी फ्री मिलती है अबाउट द रिकॉग्नाइज्ड वोटर्स इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी. ओके शशांक, अब आप परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन खेल रहे हो मेरे साथ, फिर भी मैं आपको आंसर करता हूं. इफ अ स्टेट पार्टी have same symbol in different state and become national party later, तो वो सिंबल उस पार्टी को मिल जाएगा जो नेशनल पार्टी है और स्टेट पार्टी को दूसरा सिंबल चूज करना पड़ेगा. yes मुस्कान, that's right. as of now there are 8 national parties or 8 political parties as national parties. ठीक है, चलिए let's go ahead now. चेंज होता रहता है, the number keeps on changing. so third benefit, during the time of election, the registered political party the recognized political party, they get broadcast and telecast facilities over Akashvani and Doordarshan. पॉलिटिकल सपोज करो कि जब इलेक्शन आता है तो आपको पता है कि रेडियो के ऊपर बीजेपी, कांग्रेस, जो भी नेशनल या जो भी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड पार्टी हैं, दे कैन गो फॉर ब्रॉडकास्टिंग देयर एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स एंड देयर स्पीचेस. So during the time of elections, the recognized parties get exclusive access to broadcast and telecast facilities over Akashvani and Doordarshan. Recognized political parties, they are entitled to nominate star campaigners for 40. They can go for appointing 40 campaigners as star campaigners, whereas in case of registered or unrecognized political party, it is just 20. So double is the number of the star campaigners. Star campaigners क्या है वो just अब हम इसके बाद start करेंगे. देखिए जो star campaigners होते हैं उनके ऊपर किया गया खर्चा, the travel expenses of the star campaigners are not to be accounted for in the election expenses of the candidates of their political party. ये बेनिफिट है स्टार कैंपेनर का जो अब हम डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे. अभी तक सब क्लियर है? इज इट क्लियर एवरीवन? ऑल द पॉइंट्स क्लियर टू यू टिल दिस पॉइंट? ऑलराइट, ग्रेट. ओके, नाउ लेट्स गो अहेड. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज हु इज अ स्टार कैंपेनर. देखो, एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी कैन गो फॉर nominating a person to be a star campaigner to campaign for the candidate of the political party who is contesting election from a particular constituency. Suppose one of you become a big celebrity, and by the time you become a big celebrity, I became a politician, and there is current affairs party which is now a very big party, and I am contesting election from say New Delhi. अब न्यू दिल्ली से मैं इलेक्शन फाइट कर रहा हूं, आप बहुत बड़े फेमस पर्सनैलिटी बन गए हो. नाउ आई वांट यू टू गो फॉर campaigning for me, and I'm a national, so current affairs party now is a national party, so my party can appoint 40 people as star campaigners. Star campaigners are generally the people who are famous and prominent or popular face within the party, to whom the people can easily connect. अब देखो, जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल मेनी टाइम्स यू नो दैट for the candidates contesting elections in Bihar, Narendra Modi is the star campaigner, Amit Shah is the star campaigner, Rahul Gandhi is a star campaigner, Priyanka Vadra is a star campaigner. So these are the people who are prominent faces. People may not know who is the MLA MP of their constituency, but they know Modi, they know Amit Shah, they know Rahul Gandhi, they know Priyanka Vadra. Getting my point? Those people are the prominent faces with whom people can easily connect and develop the likeliness towards the candidate of their choice. So star campaigner is generally the person who is nominated by a political party to campaign for the candidate from a given set of constituencies. It is mostly a prominent and a popular face within the party, and there is no specific definition according to law or the Election Commission of India. There is no specific definition. All right, this is very important to understand. Now, what are the expenses of a star campaigner, or what are the benefits of a star campaigner? So, if a star campaigner is chosen, then according to section 77 of the Representation of People's Act, any expense incurred on the campaigning done by the star campaigner, it will not be deemed to be an expenditure in connection with the election. If a person is contesting Lok Sabha election, he should not spend more than 30 lakhs, more than 70 lakhs in case of his campaigning. If a candidate is contesting state assembly elections, he should not go for expenses more than 28 lakhs in course of the campaigning that is undertaking or that is taking place. So section 77 of the Representation of People's Act put a upper limit upon the election expenses of the candidate, not the political party. Remember this thing. It's a catch UPSC can exploit. Section 77 of the Representation of People's Act go for putting upper limit upon the political or election expenses of a candidate. 70 lakh is the maximum limit for Lok Sabha election, 28 lakhs is maximum limit for assembly elections. If the limits are revised and I have not updated, please correct me, because as per my latest information, it is 70 lakh for legislative, Lok Sabha elections and 28 lakhs for the state assembly elections. Now, if a star campaigner is campaigning for a candidate, तो स्टार कैंपेनर के ट्रेवल एक्सपेंसेस कैंडिडेट के इलेक्शन एक्सपेंसेस में ऐड नहीं होंगे. This is very important. So star campaigners allow free flow of funds in terms of traveling, in terms of acquiring, in terms of carrying out massive rallies and anything. All right, so this gives a kind of flexibility to the candidate to go for easy spending of money for his campaign. Star campaigners' expenditure will not be added into the expenditure of the candidate who is contesting the elections. All the expenses of the star campaigner, they are borne by the political party and not the candidate. For example, if a star campaigner is traveling by air or by any means of transport, any expenditure that will be incurred will not be the expenditure of the candidate, it will be the expenditure of the political party. A star campaigner is provided a permit for the mode of transport, which will be free of cost. It has to be struck upon the vehicle where he is traveling. Uski car ke upar likha hona chahiye star campaigner. So any expenditure will not be added to the expenditure of the candidate. It will be added to the expenditure of the political party. Now let's look at what are the regulation over the election expenses. Let's now look at the regulation over the election expenses. Star campaigner का concept clear आपको? So the star campaigner has to be associated with that political party, or anyone who does not belong to the political can be the star campaigner within the political party. Within the political party, he or she can join the political party for some time and after that he may leave it. But he has to be within the political party to be a star campaigner. Good. All right, perfect. Now, restrictions upon election expenses. Under the Rule 90 of the Election Rules 1961, a candidate who is contesting the Lok Sabha polls can spend maximum 70 lakh rupees on his campaigning, 28 lakh rupees in case of assembly elections. All right. Under the Section 77 of the Representation of People Act 1951, a candidate must prepare a separate and correct account of all the expenditures that he has incurred between the date he was nominated as the candidate of the political party and the results of the election. If BJP go for nominating me today as their candidate in particular constituency, तो आज के दिन से रिजल्ट आने दिन तक मैंने जो भी खर्चा किया है अपनी कैंपेनिंग के ऊपर, मैं वो साफ और स्पष्ट तौर पे इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया को बताऊंगा within the 30 days of completion of the elections. This is mandated as per section 77 of the Representation of People's Act. अगर मैंने कोई भी truth छुपाई, if I go for hiding anything, if I give incorrect account of my expenditure, it is sufficient ground for Election Commission of India to disqualify me for up to 3 years. And this disqualification is under section 10A of the Representation of People's Act 1951. But you must understand, section 77 of Representation of People Act, it puts a restriction upon the maximum expenditure of a candidate. A political party is cap free. A political party can go for uncapped political expenditure which is often exploited by candidates of the party. However, all registered parties have to submit a statement of their election expenditure to the Election Commission of India within 90 days of the completion of the election. There is no cap, लेकिन पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को भी बताना होगा कि आपने कितना खर्चा किया है. आप करो जितना दिल खोल के खर्चा करो, कुबेर का खजाना लुटा दो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट. लेकिन बताना पड़ेगा कि कुबेर का खजाना लुट चुका है. ठीक है, लेट्स गो अहेड नाउ. So next topic we are going to discuss is contempt of court. But before that, is star campaigner, types of political parties and all these things clear to all of you? Expenditure limit has been raised by 10% for both Lok Sabha and state, citing COVID-19 pandemic by Election Commission of India. That's a good addition. ठीक है, okay. So it means film stars who do campaigning are not star campaigners if they are not part of political party. Only a member can be a star campaigner. That's right. That's fairly acceptable. Yes. All right. Let's go ahead now. So the next topic we are going to discuss, it is the contempt of court. Contempt of court topic is inspired from our last week or the previous meeting, जहाँ पे हमने तेलंगाना के आंध्र प्रदेश का जो चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, ऑलराइट, जगमोहन रेड्डी, उनकी एक न्यूज करी थी that he has submitted a letter in person to the Chief Justice of India citing irregularities of conduct by the Supreme Court Judge N.V. Ramanna. You remember this? In the previous our previous current affairs meeting, we discussed about now. Okay, Nagvanshi is asking that MLA in assembly elections spend more than the limit. Yes, they do, but they go for incorrect सबमिशन. अब वही बात है, उसकी कोई वेरिफिकेशन नहीं होती. अगर पकड़े गए तो फिर डिस्क्वालीफाई हो जाओगे, अगर नहीं पकड़े गए तो who knows. We know ये 70 और 28 लाख लिमिट कोई नहीं फॉलो करता. Do you get my point? Nobody follows these limits. बस वो पेपर पे इस तरीके से तैयार होती है कि लिमिट ऐसा हो. Let me give you a very fair and correct information. The people who are paying income tax in the country, they go for suppressing their real wealth. कितने पकड़ में आते हैं? जब तक कोई बहुत ही बड़ा घोटाला नहीं होता, पकड़ में नहीं आते. ऑलराइट, बिकॉज इन्वेस्टिगेशन एंड investigation being is very like busy, and you can also, it is not that much competent to even find the nuances, smallest of the nuances. So चलता है, खर्चा बहुत होता है. We know 70 लाख कुछ भी नहीं है, करोड़ों रुपए निकल जाते हैं, 10-10 करोड़ लग जाते हैं इलेक्शन में. But again, nobody cares. ठीक है, चलिए. So now we are going to discuss the topic that is the contempt of court. Basically, what has happened, the letter that Jagmohan Reddy has written to the Chief Justice of India, it was brought in public, and that letter has objectionable remarks upon Justice of the Supreme Court N.V. Ramanna. Justice N.V. Ramanna. This becomes a sufficient ground for the Supreme Court to initiate the contempt of court proceedings if the allegations of Mr. Jagmohan Reddy are quashed by the Chief Justice of India. So, whenever the Supreme Court initiates, yes, Muskan, this limit has been increased by 10% due to COVID-19. ये लिमिट अब 77 और 30.8 lakh हो गई है because of COVID-19. All right, it is only during this COVID-19 that the limit has been increased by 10%. It will be again brought back to the normal once the pandemic is over. It is just a temporary provision. So, whenever the Supreme Court initiate the contempt of court proceeding, it usually take suggestion from the Attorney General. Same thing has happened this time, not by Supreme Court, but by a senior lawyer of the Supreme Court who has requested Attorney General to recommend the Supreme Court to initiate contempt of court proceedings against the Andhra Chief Minister Jagmohan Reddy. So, in this regard, the reply was given by the Attorney General K.K. Venugopal, and this prepares a sufficient ground for us to discuss the contempt of court. And this contempt of court was also in news a couple of months back because of Prashant Bhushan. Am I right? Prashant Bhushan ही है ना जो केस कंटेम्प्ट ऑफ कोर्ट का चल रहा था. हाँ ठीक है, या ₹1 फाइन जिसमें लगा है. ठीक है, सो लेट्स नाउ डिस्कस द कंटेम्प्ट ऑफ कोर्ट. This contempt of court, it comes as a concept in judiciary from England. Basically, what happened in England, there is a common law principle. In England, there is a common law principle which says that one must protect the judicial power to ensure independence and maintaining the integrity of the judiciary. One must go for preventing any attempt at tarnishing the image of the judiciary. So in the English common law, there is a concept called contempt of court, which says that one must protect the judicial powers. Initially, the judicial powers in England belonged to the king or the crown. Later, the judicial powers were transferred from the king or the crown to the panel of the judges who act in his name. Who act in his name. There is a belief in England that becomes the basis of the contempt of court, and the belief is that any violation of judge's order is considered as an affront to the king himself. King, who is the first citizen of England, who is the most respectable person because England is a constitutional monarchy. So the king or the crown is the most respectable agency. The judges, the panel of the judges, it works in the name of the king. If you disobey the panel of the judges, you are disobeying the king, and therefore it provides a sufficient ground for contempt proceedings to initiate. These contempt proceedings have been incorporated in Indian scenario, and this provision is known as the contempt of court. What is the status of contempt of court? Whether it is statutory, whether it is constitutional, whether it is extra constitutional, that we have to discuss. So one thing is clear, that the concept of contempt of court has emerged from England. The status of contempt of court in India, it is statutory. The contempt of court in case of India is statutory. If you look at the evolution of contempt of court in India, the contempt of court initiated in India right before independence. During the British time, the contempt of court was initiated in many of the high courts that provided for the contempt if the high court is either disobeyed or any maleficent comment is made upon the high court. And similarly, in many of the courts of the princely states, there was contempt of court going on. So even before independence, we had this provision of contempt of court in the high courts of the provinces or in the courts of some princely states. After independence in the constitution, contempt of court has been made a reasonable restriction on the freedom of speech and expression. Though it was not explicitly mentioned under the constitution, the contempt of court was a reasonable restriction upon the contempt of court is a reasonable restriction upon the freedom of speech and expression. Shashank, I'll have to cross-verify and let you know. I cannot comment as of now. Maybe next class for sure I'll debate upon it. All right. So then Article 129 of the Constitution of India that deals with the judiciary or Supreme Court, and Article 215 of the Constitution of India that deals with the high courts. So both these articles, Article 129 and 215, they provide for the respective courts, that is the Supreme Court and High Courts, to go for punishing any contempt of itself. While initiating the contempt proceeding against somebody, they are going to consult the Attorney General. The Contempt of Court Act 1971 was explicitly enacted to give the contempt of court a statutory status. Today, contempt of court has an explicit statutory status in case of India. All right. It started even before independence. Before 1971, it was implicit in the constitution, and today a statutory basis has been explicitly given to the contempt of court. Now, if we look at the different types of contempt of court, there are two types of contempt of courts. One is the civil contempt of court and second is criminal contempt of court. Civil contempt of court simply means that you willfully disobey or you willfully breach any undertaking that you have given to a court. कोर्ट ने एक ऑर्डर दिया and you willfully disobey it is a civil contempt of court. You have made an undertaking before the court that I will not do this and you still do it, it is civil contempt of court. Then there is a criminal contempt of court. The criminal contempt of court consists of three forms. The first form is that if you pass words, whether they are written or spoken, that signs and actions that scandalize or tend to scandalize or lower or tend to lower the authority of any court in the country, your act is a criminal contempt of court. You pass some action, you sign something, you present some words, either spoken or written, that go for lowering the authority of the court, that try to scandalize the authority of the court, you are committing a criminal contempt of court. Then, if you press some prejudices in the course of justice delivery, if you press certain prejudices in the course of justice delivery or you interfere in the judicial proceedings, unwarranted interference in the judicial proceeding is a criminal contempt of court. Interference with or obstruction in the administration of justice, that is a criminal contempt of court. When you are in a court, it is your lawyer who is supposed to interact with the judge. You are not allowed to talk directly to the judge. If you do so, you will be warned that you are interfering in the judicial proceeding. लेकिन फिर भी भावनाओं में बह के बोल गए, सो आपको सजा नहीं होनी तो भी वो एक दिन के लिए आपको जेल में बंद कर देगा. Judge can give you any punishment on the spot for interference in the judicial proceedings. Yes, Raja Mehran, correct. It can be called as if if the accused is asked to pay fine to the court or alimony to the partner and not to do that. Yes, it's a civil contempt. Yes, Sandeep, it's a civil contempt. In case of a divorce, if the alimony is being ordered by the court and the person does not pay alimony to the spouse, then yes, it's a civil contempt of court. If a person goes for making allegations against the judiciary or the individual judges, which is manifested as a malicious attack on the conduct of the judges, this also is a sufficient ground for initiating the contempt of court proceedings under the criminal section. The rationale behind the contempt of court is simple, that the courts must be protected from the tendentious attacks that try to lower its authority, that try to defame the judiciary in the public image, and that try to make public lose its faith in impartiality. Today, the people have last resort as judiciary when it comes to their suffering. Judiciary is the protector of the constitution, final interpreter of the constitution. People's faith in judiciary is very important. If the people faith in judiciary is shaken, the entire fabric of unity gets devastated. So to protect it, the contempt of court has been given a statutory status. The punishment for contempt of court can be simple imprisonment up to 1 year, sorry, up to 6 months, not 1 year, up to 6 months, and or a fine up to rupees 2000. It depends upon the court how much or what kind of contempt it is. If you look at the scandalizing basically referred to attacking an individual judge in particular or the court as a whole to present that the court is not doing justice the way it should. So N.V. Ramanna's complaint that was, so Jagmohan Reddy's complaint about N.V. Ramanna was an attack on the individual judge, that he is trying to interfere in allocation of the cases of the Andhra government to those judges which are not favorable to Andhra government, and therefore the Andhra government is not getting justice in the Andhra High Court. So it is a question upon the integrity of a judge of the Supreme Court, and it is a sufficient ground for initiating the contempt of court if it is a malicious complaint. संदीप, imprisonment बेलेबल नहीं होती, ऑफेंस बेलेबल और नॉन बेलेबल होता है. अगर आपने एक ऐसा ऑफेंस किया है जो जिसमें बेल मिल सकती है, तो जब आप जज के सामने होगे यू कैन प्रेस फॉर बेल एंड यू विल गेट द बेल. इफ द केस इज सच दैट giving you a bail will result into any kind of hindrance in justice, in those cases there will be no bail given. Imprisonment is given after the justice is delivered. All right? और imprisonment होने के बाद बेल नहीं होती, imprisonment होने के बाद पैरोल होती है, जो जेल से छुट्टी मिलती है उसे पैरोल बोलते हैं. All right, clear है संदीप? Bail is before imprisonment, it is during the time of justice delivery. Okay, but not everything is contempt of court. If there is a fair and accurate reporting of judicial proceeding which is not correct, it is not a contempt of court. If there is a fair criticism, it is not a contempt of court. If you are giving a truth which is not appropriate practice of conduct in a court, it is not contempt of court. And this has been given under 2006 amendment to the 1971 Contempt of Court Acts. Is this point clear, everyone? This is contempt of court. Is the contempt of court concept clear to everyone, each and every one of you? The types, all right, the types, the prison, the punishment, all right, what are the grounds for civil, what are the grounds for criminal, and where does the contempt of court comes from? Good. Now we are going to discuss the third dimension, and that was related to the pardoning power of the governors. Can anyone tell me, true or false mein batana? This is a question to you all. Give me your answer in true and false. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, even you can go for answering this question. A person who is a convict on death row, can he be pardoned by the governor? A death row convict can be pardoned by governor. True or false? Good, good. Not even a single incorrect answer. False. Who pardons a death convict? Very good. President. That's fairly good. So pardoning power of governor we are discussing. So there was a news article that was related to the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. There are convicts in Rajiv Gandhi assassination case who were given the death sentence. In 2014, the Supreme Court commuted the death sentence into life imprisonment. Commutation का मतलब होता है when you change the nature of the judgment. When you change the nature of the judgment, that when you change the sentence of the crime, that is basically called commutation. From death sentence, the sentence was changed to life imprisonment by the Supreme Court in 2014, after 23 years of the incident of assassinating the former Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi. The Supreme Court remarked that there is delay in execution of the justice and it amounts to mental torture. And because they have sufficiently suffered this mental torture, in 2014, acting on a litigation, the Supreme Court commuted the death sentence into life imprisonment. Following this, the Tamil Nadu governor, on the basis of the Council of Ministers of the Tamil Nadu government, the Tamil Nadu governor pardoned the accused in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. पहले गवर्नर नहीं पार्डन कर सकता था because they were death convicts. After the sentence was commuted to life imprisonment, now the governor has the power under Article 161 to go for commutation of the sentence. And yes, the Tamil Nadu governor, acting on the advice of the Council of Ministers, he went for pardoning A.G. Perarivalan and S. Nalini. Then this act of governor was challenged in Supreme Court, and the challenging party remarked that there is already a investigation further going on, and that investigation is being carried out by MDMA. MDMA is Multidisciplinary Monitoring Agency. Multidisciplinary Monitoring Agency's investigation was going on, and the party that challenged the governor's action, that party said that since MDMA investigations are going on, therefore they should not be released. That is, the governor should not be allowed to exercise his pardoning power under Article 161. So in this judgment this week, the Supreme Court has said that MDMA investigation applied to those people who are still not brought to justice but were involved in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination. Those people who have already brought to justice, the Supreme Court has given them the sentence. They are now allowed to be pardoned by the governor. So the Supreme Court has remarked that the governor can rule on Rajiv convict's plea, that the governor can go for pardoning. MDMA investigation going on does not stand any chance. So this is what we are discussing now. So Article 161 of the Constitution, it provides power to the governor to grant pardons. Article 161 remarks that the governor of a state shall have power to grant pardons, reprieve, respite, or remit punishment of the people who are punished for violation or committing any offense against any law that relates to the executive power of the state. If a person is convicted for violating the laws of the state, executive power of the state, law and order is the executive power of the state, right? It's the prerogative of the state law, state list, law and order. Am I right? That's correct. Drop the Article 72 for president. Okay. So the governor can go for pardon, reprieve, respite, or remission of punishment, to suspend, remit, or commute any sentence to any person convicted for any offense against any law relating to matter to which the executive power of the state extent. The governor cannot pardon a death sentence. It is exclusively the prerogative of the president. Same is the case with court martial. The governor cannot pardon a person who is convicted of court martial. Only the president has the power to go for pardoning the convict in the court martial case. And it must be remembered that it is not a discretionary power. Pardoning, remission, respite, and reprieving, they are not discretionary power of the president or the governor. They are to be exercised by the president or the governor in conjunction with the advice of the Council of Minister. Conjunction of the advice of Council of Minister. Now, what do you understand by the term pardon? Pardon means completely absolving the offender. That is, you relieve him from any kind of crime that he or she has done. You completely absolve the offender. In reprieve, you temporarily suspend the sentence. You provide him some kind of reprieve. You temporarily suspend execution of the sentence. Respite. Respite is you award a lesser sentence without changing, special sentence on special ground. You award a lesser sentence on special grounds. That is called respite. The nature of the statement is not changed. You may go for providing lesser sentence, but the nature of the crime or the character of the sentence is not going to change. In case of remission, you reduce the amount of sentence without changing its character. And in commutation, you go for substituting one form to another, that is replacing the punishment with less severe punishment. For example, from rigorous imprisonment, you change to simple imprisonment. Commutation is changing the nature of sentence. Remission, reducing the duration of the sentence, but without changing its character. Respite, on certain special grounds, you go for providing lesser sentence. Reprieve, temporary suspension of carrying out of sentence, and pardon is completely free. Court martial can only be carried out by the, court martial pardoning can only be carried out by the president. Anything that deals with court martial will be done by the president. Remember this. Anything that deals with death sentence is to be carried out by the president. Okay? So this is about the Tamil Nadu governor incident with respect to providing pardoning to Rajiv Gandhi assassination convicts. Is this point clear, everyone? देखो, suppose let me give you an example of respite. Respite का मतलब क्या है? You go for, suppose you are a very benevolent person, and you have worked for the welfare of many people. You are a social worker, and you have gone for helping the needy. You have gone for helping the vulnerable, but in the fit of rage, you commit a murder. Let's assume it. You commit a murder, but because that was because of the fit of rage. It was because of a sudden knee-jerk reaction that you committed a crime. But you are a person good at heart. You have a good track record of being a good civilian. So your punishment may be reduced on special grounds that you are a social worker, or maybe some special grounds can come and your sentence can be reduced. That is called respite. That's correct, Kudrat. In case of pregnancy, respite can be given. That's correct. It's a special ground. All right. In case of pregnancy, respite can be given. Yes, Priyanka, you can quote these examples. All right. You can quote these examples. Okay. And remission. In remission, you go for reducing the amount of sentence without changing its character. That's it. जैसे होता है ना कि किसी को लाइफ इम्प्रिजनमेंट मिली है, उसकी लाइफ इम्प्रिजनमेंट जैसे ही 16 साल हुए, the governor went, because of his good conduct in the jail, the governor said, okay, you are free to go, but you are a murderer, you are not absolved of your crime. आप बाइज्जत बरी नहीं हो रहे हो. You are provide lesser sentence. Your sentence will be reduced from life imprisonment to 16 years. but the character is there that you are the person who has suffered a sentence out of murder. In pardon you are absolved. ठीक है, चलिए देखो निखिल, respite is on special grounds. Respite is on special grounds. Remission is not on any special grounds. That's it. बस इतना डिफरेंस रखो. चलिए आगे चलते हैं. अगली जो न्यूज थी, it was related to fortified rice scheme. So what has happened in India? There is a strong connection that is there between poor health of children. The children in India, they are suffering from chronic anemia and undernutrition. So the government has now tried to provide adequate nutritious food to every child, which is provided in Article 29, paragraph 2C of the Rights of the Children. Convention on Rights of Children, Article 29, paragraph 2C, it reads that the signatory and ratifier of the Convention on Rights of Children should provide its children in its country adequate nutritious food. India has already signed and ratified the Convention on Rights of Children. So in pursuit of this right of the children to adequate nutritious food, the government is now going to link the Anganwadi centers and the schools through ICDS and midday meal scheme to provide them nutritious food in the form of fortified rice. Food fortification is a technique through which you artificially go for increasing the nutritional value of the food. That is called food fortification. For example, iodized salt. Iodized salt is an example of fortified food. Zinc enriched wheat is an example of fortified food. Vitamin B12 enriched rice is an example of fortified food. So through this fortified rice scheme, the government intend to improve the nutritional status of children by linking the midday meal scheme and integrated child development services with fortified rice distribution. And the focus of this scheme is going to be the aspirational districts. This was the subject matter of this article, and we are now going to discuss, that's right, Shivanjali, the golden rice. You can say the fortified rice, the golden rice. We are going to discuss about midday meal scheme, integrated child development scheme. We are going to integrated child development services, aspirational district program, and last, food fortification or rice fortification. These four things will cover as part of this current affair. If you talk about the status of undernutrition in our country, 70% of the children in India are reported to suffer from chronic anemia. 70% children in India, they are suffering from chronic anemia. This is reported in National Family Health Survey. NFHS has reported that approximately 70% children in India, they suffer from chronic anemia. And if you talk about undernutrition, then there is a report that was presented by the Global Nutrition Report. Then there is a data presented by Global Nutrition Report, which has found out that if you talk about undernutrition, 1/3 of the world's total stunted children are found in India. So India is having a huge burden of undernutrition children and children suffering from chronic anemia. So the government has gone to uplift the status of the child nutrition by fortified rice provisioning to the children. It will be done by integrating distribution of fortified rice under the integrated child development services and midday meal scheme. That is, the fortified rice will be provided to the children in the Anganwadis and the government schools. And the special focus in this scheme is upon the aspirational districts. Yes, rice will be fortified with vitamin B12, folic acid, and iron. Can anyone tell me what deficiency disease is caused by polished rice? Quickly, what deficiency disease is caused by polished rice? जो polished rice होता है उससे कौन सी deficiency disease होती है? Anybody? Priyas Mishra says anemia. Anybody else? हाँ कर लो, गूगल कर लो, क्या हो गया? Very good, Priyanka. That's perfect. Beriberi. Beriberi is a disease which is caused by the deficiency of vitamin B12. When the rice is polished, vitamin B12 is washed away. So, fortifying the rice with vitamin B12 is essential because polished rice results into beriberi, or that's right, vitamin B12 deficiency. Great, good. So, let's first look into the status of undernutrition in India. So, as I already told you, the Global Nutrition Report, it has pointed out that India is home to 1/3 of the stunted children. Out of total 144 million stunted children in the world, 46.4 million, approximately 1/3 of the total stunted children are found in India. If you talk about the child mortality rate under 5, 50% of child mortality under 5 is recorded in India. This is the level of undernutrition in India. Basically, if you go for assessing undernutrition, there are two criteria for understanding undernutrition. First is vestness or vested, and second is stunted. Undernourished child will either be vested or he will be stunted, or he may be both. An undernourished child may be either stunted, wasted, or he may be both stunted as well as vested. So what do you understand by vested? Vested means he is too thin for his height. A child is too thin for his or her height, he is called wasted. And stunted, he is too short for his age. In stunted, it is age, with respect to age. In wasted, it is with respect to height. In wasted, you calculate the weight or the body girth, weight. He is too light for his height, he is wasted. He is too short for his age, he is stunted. And if he is too light for his height and is too short for his age, he may be wasted as well as stunted. A child becomes wasted because of shorter period of undernourishment. However, if he is suffering from chronic undernourishment, he is going to be stunted, and maybe both, and maybe both. All right. Okay, doctor, that's great. Thank you. Let me put this information to everyone. Copy, paste. Avni Rana, thank you very much. Again, it's an information that everybody should cherish. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, beriberi is vitamin B1 deficiency, and vitamin B12 causes anemia. So both anemia as well as beriberi can be the result of vitamin B deficiency. Thank you. That's great. All right. Thiamine is vitamin B deficiency. That's correct. Thiamine is vitamin B deficiency. Great. Let's go ahead now. All right. So the chronic undernutrition results into stuntedness, whereas shorter period of undernourishment can result into wastedness. Just for the sake of understanding, if you are measuring undernourishment, you measure it in terms of wasting and stunting. But if you are measuring malnourishment, the third parameter that you add to wasting and stunting is obesity. Obesity, malnourishment, overnutrition is also malnourishment. Undernutrition is also malnourishment. Nourishment means optimum nutrition. So obesity has its own toll upon the population. Wasting and stunting has its own toll, and all these three parameters, wasting, stunting as well as obesity, these three represent the status of malnutrition. Remember, agar prelims mein aa jaye, mal undernourishment is registered through obesity, wasting, stunting. Wasting and stunting will be the answer. और अगर क्वेश्चन में आ जाए malnourishment is measured through stunting, wasting, obesity, all the three will be the answer. चलिए, just a small image to show you the malnutrition that comes in many forms. First is stunting, people are too short for their age. Wasting, people are too thin for their height. Obesity, people are obese. All right, these are the example of malnutrition. Now let's have a little look at the food fortification program. Fortification is an act of addition of the key vitamins and minerals such as iron, iodine, zinc, vitamin A and D to the staple foods such as rice, wheat, oil, milk, salt to improve their nutritional content. When you artificially, remember the word artificially, when you go for artificially increasing the nutritional content of the food, that is called food fortification. These minerals may not be originally present. For example, the sea salt in its natural form may not consist of iodine. Deficiency of iodine causes goiter. To prevent goiter, the doctor suggests consumption of iodized salt, and iodine addition to the salt is food fortification. So, these nutrition though may not be originally present in the food before processing, or they have been lost during processing. For example, the vitamin B gets lost from rice, thiamine gets lost in rice because of polishing. So you can go for fortification of even polished rice. So this time, the way they are going for fortification of the rice, what they are doing, they go for grinding the broken rice into powder. They mix it with the nutrients and then shape it again into rice-like kernels using some extrusion process. After they have created these kernels, they mix these fortified kernels with the normal rice in the ratio 1:100 and distribute for consumption. ब्रोकन राइस है, प्रॉपर राइस छान लिया, साइड में ब्रोकन राइस है, ब्रोकन राइस को ग्राइंड करके पाउडर बना लिया. अब उसके अंदर फॉलिक एसिड, विटामिन ए, विटामिन B12 ये डाल के मिला के मिक्स कर लिया और उनको फिर से राइस जैसा शेप दे दिया. अब इधर 1 किलो फोर्टिफाइड राइस लेंगे, 100 किलो नॉर्मल राइस लेंगे, दोनों को मिक्स कर देंगे और फिर उसको भेज देंगे कि जाओ भाई सबको खिलाओ. एज पर द फूड फोर्टिफिकेशन रिसोर्स सेंटर of the FSSAI under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, iron, vitamin B12 and folic acid are the mandatory nutrients for fortification of rice. Very important point. Under the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, which is a body under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, it has made it mandatory that the rice fortification must include at least iron, vitamin B12 and folic acid. All right. So this, I have already asked you this question, that what deficiency disease is caused by polished rice? So anemia and beriberi. Basically, folic acid is a supplement along with iron. All right. Is folic acid consisting of iron? Priyanka, does folic acid consist of iron, or iron is a additional supplement along with folic acid? Basically वो जो आपका राजीव गांधी adolescent girls program है, उसके अंदर iron and folic acid tablets are given to treat anemia in India in adolescent girls. All right. So iron along with folic acid. If I'm not wrong, folic acid allows good absorption of iron. This is the benefit of the folic acid. Is this correct? ठीक है. All right. So folic acid allows proper absorption of iron so that hemoglobin can pick up. ठीक है. Great. And one more doubt, Priyanka, that I have, please resolve it since you are a doctor there. Vitamin B1, vitamin B12, vitamin A and folic acid, all these contribute in prevention of anemia. Correct or incorrect? All these are, or only iron and folic acid? Only iron and folic acid help in anemia. ठीक है, all right. चलो ठीक है, ये थोड़ा ज्यादा डॉक्टर वाला हो जाएगा. वी आर नॉट फाइटिंग फॉर इंडियन मेडिकल सर्विसेज, वी आर फाइटिंग फॉर यूपीएससी. इतना नहीं पूछेंगे, डोंट वरी, ठीक है. बट ये याद रखना, विटामिन ए इज फॉर आईज, दैट्स ग्रेट. आयरन एंड फॉलिक एसिड फॉर अनीमिया. विटामिन बी1 इज फॉर, हाँ, विटामिन बी12 ऑल्सो, ठीक है. विटामिन बी12 को अनीमिया के साथ ले लो. विटामिन बी1 इज फॉर प्रिवेंटिंग बेरी, ठीक है, काफी है, सफिशिएंट. But there is a problem that is there in food fortification program. And what is the problem? The problem ये है कि भारत में 1500 टन फोर्टिफाइड राइस कर्नल प्रोड्यूस होता है. लेकिन अगर भारत के हर बच्चे को आप फोर्टिफाइड आयरन प्रोवाइड करना चाहो, ऑलराइट, भारत के हर बच्चे को आप फोर्टिफाइड राइस प्रोवाइड करना चाह रहे हो, you will have to provide to in India at least how many 3.5 lakh tons of fortified kernels. We right now just have 15,000 tons. That is to cover all the public distribution system, Anganwadis and midday meals in the 112 aspirational districts. We need annual supply of approximately 1.3 lakh tons of 1.3 lakh tons of this fortified kernel. All right, and if you want to cover the PDS across the country, 3.5 lakh tons of additional fortified kernels are required. 15,000 ton se 3.5 lakh ton, it is way beyond the capability. But let's see, something is going to happen for sure. Now let's look into what is known as the midday meal scheme. मिड डे मील स्कीम, इंटीग्रेटेड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट सर्विसेज, यूपीएससी ने मेंस में एक्सक्लूसिवली पूछा हुआ है. ऑलराइट, यूपीएससी हैज एक्सक्लूसिवली आस्क्ड क्वेश्चंस ऑन मिड डे मील स्कीम एंड इंटीग्रेटेड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट स्कीम इन मेंस एज वेल, नॉट जस्ट प्रीलिम्स, मेंस. प्रीलिम्स में तो बहुत बार पूछ लिया. चलिए, लेट्स हैव अ लुक एट इट. मिड डे मील स्कीम व्हिच वाज लॉन्च्ड इन 1995, it is a school meal program. This program tries to provide free lunch to the school going children on working days, to the children who are enrolled in primary and upper primary classes. The students who are enrolled, right Priyanka, that's correct, even in state examinations they have asked it, HCS for example. So the school going children who are enrolled in primary and upper primary classes, they are supposed to be provided free lunches on the working days under this midday meal scheme. The children who are in certain category of schools or educational institutions are covered. If you look into the educational institutions, midday meal scheme cover children enrolled in the government schools, children enrolled in government aided schools, children enrolled in schools run by local bodies, children enrolled in educational guarantee scheme schools, children enrolled in madrasas and maktabs under the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, and any institution that is receiving money from the government to provide children education, they have to provide nutritious lunch on working days to the children who are enrolled in primary or upper primary classes. If you look into the coverage of the midday meal scheme, the coverage of the midday meal scheme is approximately 12 crore children who are enrolled in 12,65,000 different institutions, and this scope of this midday meal scheme covering 12 crore children across the country, this makes the midday meal scheme world's largest child nutrition program. This midday meal scheme, that is world's largest child nutrition program, it is inspired from Article 24, not 29, Article 24, paragraph 2C of the Convention on Rights of the Child. And this Article 24, paragraph 2C provides that the children in the country that signs and ratifies the Convention on Rights of Children must be provided adequate nutritious food. So in pursuit of paragraph 2C of Article 24 of the Convention of Rights of Children, the Union government started in 1995 the midday meal scheme. That is about the midday meal scheme. Now let's have a look at the Integrated Child Development Services, ICDS. The Integrated Child Development Services was launched on 2nd October 1975. However, after 3 years in 1978, ICDS was discontinued by the Morarji Desai government, and ICDS was reinitiated in the 10th five-year plan again. When it was initiated in the 10th five-year plan, ICDS was linked with Anganwadi centers as well, and today ICDS, the services under the ICDS, they are dispatched through the Anganwadi centers. Let's look at the services. Under the ICDS, after the relaunch in the 10th five-year plan, under Integrated Child Development Services, ICDS centers, Anganwadi centers, they provide food, nutritious cooked food, preschool education, primary health care, immunization, health checkup, and referral services to the children under 6 years of age, as well as the mothers of these children who are under 6 years of their age. So the children as well as children who are less than 6 years of age and their mother, they are entitled to get food. They are entitled to get preschool education for the children. They are entitled to get primary health care, immunization, health checkup, as well as referral services from these ICDS. Referral services means if on primary health checkup you are diagnosed with some issue that need further investigation, a referral can be made by the Anganwadi center to some other hospital that might entertain you. This is about ICDS and midday meal scheme. Is this point clear to everyone? Are MMS and ICDS clear to you all? If it is clear, please type yes. Good. Now we are going to talk about सागर जो सोसाइटी का क्रैश कोर्स है, yes it is over, 7 lectures were there. जो एडिशनल मटेरियल रीड करना है वो there are 4-5 शीट्स, वो आप नीचे से उससे डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. जो 7th लेक्चर है मेंस क्रैश कोर्स का, उसके डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिंक दे रखा है. 4-5 शीट्स आर देयर, प्लीज डाउनलोड देम एंड रीड. आपका पूरा सोसाइटी मेंस के लिए कवर हो जाएगा. ऑलराइट सागर? ऑलराइट, लेट्स कंटिन्यू विद द क्लास हियर. So if you look into the aspirational district program consists of development of certain districts which are recognized as aspirational districts. Aspirational districts are the most backward districts of the country, and it is believed that if you go for upliftment of, yes Navdeep Kaur, it is beneficial for 2021 as well. If you go for upliftment of the aspirational districts, the country in totality will develop. Aspirational districts are those districts which are having poorest socio-economic conditions that are dragging the country backward. So if you improve their status, overall country's status is going to improve. Such 115 districts were identified as aspirational districts. So the aspirational district program was launched by the Niti Aayog, and under this program, aspirational districts were identified with at least one district in every state, and these districts are affected by the poor socio-economic indicators. They are called aspirational because it is believed that if you bring improvement in these districts, it is sufficient to bring an overall improvement in human development in India. It was 115 districts from 28 different states were identified with at least one district from each state. At the level of the government, it is anchored by the Niti Aayog. The objective of the program is to go for real-time monitoring of the progress of the aspirational districts. You will go for the real-time monitoring of the development of the aspirational districts on the basis of the 49 indicators which are identified from 5 thematic areas such as health and nutrition, education, agriculture and water resource, financial inclusion and skill development, and lastly basic infrastructure. इन 5 थीमेटिक एरिया से 49 इंडिकेटर्स आपने आइडेंटिफाई किए और उन इंडिकेटर्स के बेसिस पे you went for monitoring the real-time progress of the aspirational districts. The concerned departments and ministries and the governments, they were supposed to improve the condition of these 49 indicators in these districts. And it was believed that if these 115 districts become developed in the country in total will become developed. In the districts under the aspirational district programs, one was supposed to focus upon the strength of each district. What is the strength of each district out of these 49 indicators? जो उस district की strength है उसके ऊपर focus करो. So that you go for a low hanging fruit approach to development. UPSC question means aspirational district के ऊपर आया हुआ है. That what is the government of India's approach in development through aspirational district? So the approach of the government is simple, that you should focus thematic areas for development. You focus upon the strength of each district, develop the district on those lines. It provides a low-hanging fruit approach for development. You see their approach and you go for devising a ranking for them. You follow 3 approaches: convergence approach, collaboration approach, and competition approach. In convergence approach, you converge the different layers of the government together in a collaborative effort to work for the development of the aspirational districts. So convergence include convergence of central and state schemes which bring together the horizontal and vertical tiers of the government together, working for the welfare of the aspirational districts. In the collaboration dimension, there is collaboration between the central government state level Prabhari officer and the district collectors, which enable an impactful partnership between the government, market and civil society working for the collective upliftment of aspirational districts. Third is competition. That is, you go for devising rankings of aspirational districts and you infuse a spirit of competition in them. Underdeveloped district की ranking में कौन चाहेगा सबसे आखिरी पायदान पे आए? Am I right? So the district collectors will never be willing to accept the last position. So this will infuse a spirit of competition and they will work for the welfare of the people in the aspirational districts. No, Sandeep, they are not from Bimaru states. Most of them are from the Bimaru states. But aspirational districts are chosen at least one district from each of the 28 states. हमने starting में बोला था ये चीज, ठीक है? So aspirational districts are not only from the Bimaru states. This is very important point to remember this. All right, so this was about the aspirational district program. Is this point clear to you all? Is aspirational district midday meal scheme, ICDS, food fortification clear to you all? Great. Now we are going to discuss the periodic labor force survey. ये periodic labor force survey quarterly निकलता रहता है. It comes out quarterly. You do not have to remember the statistics. Only that you have to understand what is periodic labor force survey and what is the importance and what things does PFLS measure, PLFS, periodic labor force survey. What does it measure? So let's have a look at it. So this week we came out with a quarterly survey about the labor force status in the country. So periodic labor force survey was launched in the year 2017 in the month of April by the National Statistical Office, NSO, National Statistical Office. He went for launching the periodic labor force survey, which is a quarterly survey, in April 2017 with two objectives. The first objective was that it wanted to go for estimation of the key employment and unemployment indicators in short time interval of 3 months, quarterly giving a information about the status of employment and unemployment in the country. ये जो 3 महीने जो क्वार्टरली सर्वे हो रहा है, it is based on current weekly status. What is current weekly status? We are going to discuss. But the first objective of the periodic labor force survey is that it intended to give you a picture of employment and unemployment in the country on quarterly basis. And this quarterly basis data is based only from urban areas in the current weekly status. इसके ऊपर आता है, what is current weekly status? Second objective was to estimate employment and unemployment indicator in the usual category. 3 months, quarterly, it is CWS category. Annual, it is usual category. So to estimate employment and unemployment indicator in both usual status as well as CWS status in both rural and urban areas annually. So one is giving you quarterly idea, second is giving you annual idea. बस इतना याद रखो. The first objective of periodic labor force survey was to provide you quarterly information about the status of employment and unemployment, and second objective was to provide you annual status of unemployment. The annual is for both rural as well as urban area. The quarterly is for the urban area alone. That's it. What is this CWS, current weekly status? The current weekly status means the activity status is determined on the basis of the reference point of the last 7 days preceding the date of survey. जिस दिन सर्वे हो रहा है उससे पिछले 7 दिन में लोगों ने क्या एम्प्लॉयमेंट किया है, क्या वो एम्प्लॉयड थे, क्या वो अनएम्प्लॉयड थे, ये डेटा रिकॉर्ड होता है 7-7 दिन का, और हर 3 महीने बाद ये सर्वे कंडक्ट होता है. हर 3 महीने बाद ये सर्वे कंडक्ट होता है, और सर्वे जिस दिन हो रहा है उससे 7 दिन पहले लोगों ने क्या काम किया, whether they were employed or unemployed, only in the urban area. This gives you the quarterly reports or PLFS. Second is usual status. In the usual status, you go for recording the activity status of the person on the basis of the activities pursued by the person during the specified reference period, which can be 365 days. एक साल तक लोगों ने क्या एक्टिविटी करी, क्या वो एम्प्लॉयड थे, क्या वो अनएम्प्लॉयड थे. दिस इज यूजुअल स्टेटस. करंट वीकली स्टेटस, जिस दिन सर्वे हो रहा है उससे 7 दिन पहले का स्टेटस. एनुअल स्टेटस, यूजुअल स्टेटस, पूरे साल में क्या किया. दैट्स इट. सो you go for quarterly survey on the basis of current weekly status only in urban area. You go for annual survey, annual statistics in both rural and urban area based on usual status. Usual status, that is पूरे साल में क्या काम किया. That's it. Are the objectives and the basis of inquiry clear to all of you? Are the objectives and the basis of inquiry, क्या measure किया जा रहा है? Is this clear to you all? Okay. If you talk about important indicators, the first important indicator is labor force participation rate. What are the different indicators that are measured in PLFS? The first is labor force participation rate. That is the percentage of persons in labor force in the population. How many working people, how many people who are looking for the job or the people who are available to work, how many such people are there? That is called the labor force participation rate. भारत में कितने लोग क्या तो काम कर रहे हैं या काम करने के इच्छुक हैं? Of the total population, that gives you the labor force participation rate. Second is worker population ratio. Worker population ratio is the percentage of the employed persons in the population. Unemployment rate is the percentage of the persons unemployed among the persons in the labor force. अब देखो लेबर फोर्स, ये जो पहला है ना लेबर फोर्स, इसके अंदर वर्किंग भी आ गए और नॉट वर्किंग भी आ गए, बट दे लुकिंग फॉर वर्क। इन दोनों को ऐड करके अगर आप टोटल पॉपुलेशन से डिवाइड कर दो तो मिलता है आपको लेबर फोर्स पार्टिसिपेशन रेट। अगर आप वर्किंग को टोटल पॉपुलेशन से डिवाइड करोगे तो वर्कर पॉपुलेशन रेट आएगा। अगर आप नॉट वर्किंग को टोटल पॉपुलेशन से डिवाइड करोगे अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट आएगा। सो इट गो फॉर मेजरिंग लेबर फोर्स पार्टिसिपेशन रेट, worker population rate, unemployment rate. These three things are measured on quarterly and annual basis by the periodic labor force participation, periodic labor force survey. All right, this is it that you have to remember from examination point of view. For your enrichment or to provide you some data for your essay, or you can say social issues or whatever statistics you want to write it, the recent findings has been given below. I am not going to discuss it. There's no point in discussing. UPSC is not going to ask, neither the state services are going to ask, but you can keep a couple of data for your mains answers. So we are not discussing it. We are now moving to the next current affair. The next current affair was related to the index of core industries. This week we have got the index of core industries. So it has reported that between April to September 2020, the core industries have shrunk by 14.9%. So this makes us have a look at what is index of core industries and what are the core industries. So let's have a look at it. So index of core industries is nothing but it is the index of 8 most fundamental industrial sectors of the economy. And this index, it measures the volume of production in these industries. That is the index of core industries. Now, core industries are those basic industries that provide you the capital goods that become the basis of production by many consumer goods. अगर आपकी कोर इंडस्ट्रीज श्रिंक कर रही हैं तो आपकी कंज्यूमर इंडस्ट्रीज भी श्रिंक करेंगी, बिकॉज दीज कोर इंडस्ट्रीज दे प्रोवाइड यू द बेसिक मटेरियल ऑन विच योर अदर इंडस्ट्रीज आर बेस्ड. So this index of core industries is the correct and a better measure to assess the status of economy in your country. In India, the index of core industries is based on 8 fundamental industries, namely coal, natural gas, crude oil, refinery products, fertilizer, steel, cement, and electricity. And when you go for calculation of the index of core industries, you have given the different sectors different weight. If you go about the weight, the highest weight for calculation of index of core industries has been given to the refinery products. वेट इस हिसाब से दिए जाते हैं कि उस इंडस्ट्री के प्रोडक्ट्स का दूसरी इंडस्ट्रीज कितना यूज करती हैं. मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द प्रोडक्शन इन द कंट्री, इट इज बेस्ड अपॉन द रिफाइनरी प्रोडक्ट, पेट्रोल, डीजल, kerosene and whatever be that it, petroleum products, because they are used by all other industries. Therefore, in the index of core industries, petroleum products are, or refinery products are given the highest weightage. The highest weight in calculation of index of core industries is given to refinery product, which is 23.04%. And the lowest weight is given to fertilizer, that is 2.63%. I have given you in the sheet the different rates. For example, the refinery, for example, in case of refinery, it is 23.04. Other important industries, it consists of steel 17.92, electricity 19.85. This weight reduces on the basis कि उसका ये इंडस्ट्री का जो प्रोडक्ट है वो दूसरी इंडस्ट्रीज कितना यूज कर रही हैं. सबसे ज्यादा पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स आएगा, सेकंड नंबर पे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बाय डिफॉल्ट, थर्ड नंबर पे आपका स्टील आ जाएगा, फोर्थ नंबर पे कोल आ जाएगा. ऑलराइट, दिस इज हाउ द वेट्स आर डिसाइडेड. यू मस्ट रिमेंबर फर्स्ट 4-5, दैट्स इनफ. और लास्ट एक फर्टिलाइजर याद रखो, सेकंड लास्ट सीमेंट याद रखो, दैट्स इट. इससे ज्यादा आपको याद नहीं करना. 5 मैंने बोल दिए, 3 और याद कर लोगे तो 8 होगा. क्या 8 याद हो गए? एम आई राइट? है ना, मैजिक हो गया तो. चलो कोई नहीं, ज्यादा कुछ नहीं होता है, सीक्वेंस पता होना चाहिए कि सबसे ऊपर रिफाइनरी प्रोडक्ट, सेकंड नंबर पे आ जाएगा आपका इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, थर्ड पे आ जाएगा आपका स्टील है, थर्ड पे क्या है ये, थर्ड पे क्या है, थर्ड पे स्टील है, फोर्थ पे कोल है, फिफ्थ पे क्रूड ऑयल है, सिक्स पे नेचुरल गैस है, सेवंथ पे सीमेंट है और लास्ट में फर्टिलाइजर है. ऑलराइट, हाईएस्ट वेट का मतलब है कि इंडेक्स ऑफ कोर इंडस्ट्रीज में किस इंडस्ट्री का कितना वेट है, किस इंडस्ट्री का ज्यादा शेयर होना चाहिए टू डिटरमाइन द इंडेक्स ऑफ कोर इंडस्ट्री. अब देखो फर्टिलाइजर में अगर श्रिंक आ जाए तो ज्यादा इंपैक्ट नहीं पड़ेगा, लेकिन अगर रिफाइनरी प्रोडक्ट में श्रिंक आ गया दैट मींस बहुत बड़ा इंपैक्ट पड़ेगा, क्योंकि रिफाइनरी प्रोडक्ट्स आर 23% ऑफ द टोटल इंडेक्स. ऑलराइट, और एज मुस्कान हैज पॉइंटेड आउट, द इंडेक्स, ये जो 8 इंडस्ट्रीज हैं, दीज 8 इंडस्ट्रीज, they account for 40.27% of total index of industrial production. total IIP index of industrial production में 40.27% सिर्फ ये 8 इंडस्ट्रीज अकाउंट करती हैं, क्लोज टू 50%. To be precise, 40.27% of the total industrial production is determined on the basis of these 8 industries. See the importance of these 8 industries. These are core industries. So the news was that this week, the news was that except the fertilizer, we have witnessed a contraction in all other industries during the month April to September 2021. Compared to September 2019, September 2020 has witnessed a contraction of somewhere around 0.8%. But if you just look at this column, April 2020 to September 2020, you look at all the sectors except for fertilizer, all other sectors have witnessed contraction. And the sectors with maximum weight, that is refinery products, the contraction is 16.3%. And because if you go for the total and see, look and just calculate it through the weight, total contraction in the core industries is 15%. To be precise, 14.6% is the contraction. That is a very grim situation. वो इंडस्ट्रीज जो हमारी इकोनॉमी को रन कर रही हैं, वो इंडस्ट्रीज जो हमारे टोटल इंडस्ट्रियल इंडेक्स ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन का 40.27% है, दे हैव कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड. तो अदर इंडस्ट्रीज तो फॉर श्योर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होंगी. तो सरकारी नौकरी ले लो, क्या पता कब रिसेशन आ गया. रिसेशन आ गया फिर इनसिक्योरिटी होगी, इनसिक्योरिटी होगी तो एंजाइटी होगी, एंजाइटी होगी तो बीपी होगा, बीपी होगा तो छोड़ो, आगे क्या डिस्कस करना. तो बस पढ़ो, सरकारी नौकरी ले लो, बस यही है आज की वीक की क्लास. सी यू नेक्स्ट वीक देन. ठीक है. So do we need to remember these statistics? No, you don't have to remember these statistics. You just have to remember this figure, 14.9%. all right, 14.9%. और ये वेट के हिसाब से रैंक पता होना चाहिए, इन 8 सेक्टर्स, इन 8 इंडस्ट्रीज का नाम पता होना चाहिए. Yes, thank you everyone. Yes, I also had a great session with you all. See you next week again at 12 o'clock. That's all from my side. Have a great day ahead. Take care. Bye bye everyone. All right. Yes, मोहित, आपको ग्रुप्स में अभी पीडीएफ में शेयर करवा देता हूं. एंड जो हमें यूट्यूब पे ज्वाइन करके बैठे हुए हैं, आप सबको डिस्क्रिप्शन में, आप सबको YouTube के लेक्चर के डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिंक मिल जाएगा, वहां से आप इस पीडीएफ को डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. गिव मी 10-15 मिनट्स, इट विल बी देयर. ऑलराइट एवरीवन, थैंक यू वेरी मच. बी सेफ, स्टे सेफ. हैप्पी दिवाली इन एडवांस. अगर मुझसे पहले मिले तो बल्ले बल्ले, उसके बाद मिले तो कोई बात नहीं. पटाखे मत फोड़ना, पोल्यूशन बहुत ज्यादा हो गया है. कोरोना कैन स्टिक अपॉन द पोल्यूशन पार्टिकल, कैन ट्रेवल. बी सेफ. ऑलराइट. ठीक है द्रौपदी, मेरे को एक मैसेज ड्रॉप कर दो आप। यस संदीप, इवन इन पीसीएस ग्रुप, सारे ग्रुप में भेजे जाएंगे, डोंट वरी। ठीक है, कोई ग्रुप रह जाए तो मुझे इन्फॉर्म कर देना, इट विल बी डिलीवर्ड टू एवरीवन। सर फॉर 2021 हाउ मेनी मंथ्स करंट अफेयर वुड बी सफिशिएंट? नवदीप, कम से कम 1 साल का होना चाहिए। जून में प्रीलिम्स लिख रहे हो तो इस साल के जून तक आपके करंट्स तैयार होने चाहिए। अगर आप इस साल के जनवरी तक, 2020 जनवरी तक कर लो तो क्या बात है, नहीं तो कम से कम जून 2020 तक के करंट अफेयर्स आपको तैयार होने चाहिए, अगर आप 27 जून 2021 को पेपर लिख रहे हो। ऑलराइट, एक स्टार्टिंग में एक क्वेश्चन और आया था जो मैंने बोला था कि लास्ट में पूछना। हाँ, लास्ट में पूछने वाला क्वेश्चन ये था कि करंट अफेयर्स के लिए इन पीडीएफ्स को कैसे यूज करना है। करंट अफेयर्स के लिए आप इन पीडीएफ्स को डाउनलोड करके अपने वर्ड में कन्वर्ट कर लो, इनको प्रिंट करके अपने पास रख लो, इनके साथ एडिशनल चीजें ऐड करते चलो। दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर देम। ऑलराइट, ठीक है, सो दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड टुडे। बाय बाय, टेक केयर, सी यू नेक्स्ट वीक अगेन ऑन सैटरडे। आई एम क्लोजिंग द सेशन नाउ. So we can take out the printout, sir. Yes, Diksha, no one is stopping you to take out the printout. Please go ahead and take out. There is no infringement of copyright from my side. I'm not claiming any intellectual property there. Yes, and add points. Yes, you should take out the printouts, add points. इनके अलावा कोई न्यूज़ है वो भी साथ में आप लिखो. This is what is expected out of you.